Hey guys, welcome to the 180 Drum Challenge. In today's lesson, we have Ben Satterlee. He's taking us to the Caribbean, man.
Satterlee. Yeah,
Satterlee.
man, this is a really, really fun, just hot steppers, rock steady, rock slash reggae slash everything else kind of groove. It's a really, really fun one. It's really hard hitting too, and it pops up in a lot of music. You saw it in The Police, you saw it in reggae, you see it in dancehall, you saw it with Paramore.
Right, sure, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a really, really fun one, and we're dealing with quarters and dotted eighth notes on the hi-hat, 4 on the floor on the kick, and we're just kind of moving around the snare accents.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, why don't you introduce this groove to us?
Sure.
And then explain how we're going to build on it.
Okay, so the basic concept is you're either doing a quarter note or a dotted eighth on the hi-hat. So I'll just show the different variations without the snare and just with the kick drum. Right there, you can already kind of start to feel the groove. There's so much space there, and there's already a feel happening.
Yeah.
You know? So really, depending on which groove you're doing, you can easily interchange a quarter note or a dotted eighth note. It's not going to throw anything off.
Right.
Now, you could also, in which we aren't covering in this, but you can easily end a phrase with like a hi-hat bark.
Right.
Or anytime you have an accent on a, you can give a little bark right there.
I love it. All right, well, introduce us to groove 1.
Sure. On groove 1, we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, on the hi-hat, 4 on the floor, 2 and 4 on the snare.
Awesome.
What's funny is this kind of feels like a blues shuffle a little bit.
Does, yeah.
Or if I was playing it on the ride, it could easily be, a snare, like a jazz pattern.
Right.
Do, da, da, do, da, da, or an early rock, you
Right.
know. But when we get into the second measure, you'll start to feel what I'm talking about. Because now we're making a little bit more of a trip down to Jamaica on this one.
All right. I love it, man. That snare drum showing up late to the party.
Yeah.
Last minute. Which is kind of the culture, right? It's funny how much the music and the culture are the same thing. There's little hints of it.
Right. Well, I mean, Afro-Cuban, the term encompasses south of the border, Caribbean, African, any kind of indigenous ethnic group. I mean, you got it. It's awesome. I love playing this style of music.
It shows, man.
Any kind of world music. You just got to be happy when you're playing it. You can't be sad.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so example 3. 4 on the floor, dotted, 1, 2, 3, 4,
So we're slowly working our way to all those notes being dotted, aren't we?
Right.
Very cool.
Right. And also, we have the snare only on 3.
Cool.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
That I can add a little accent in, and that little bark, it didn't take anything away from the groove. It actually added a little something extra.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And it's funny how we did talk about this, but you can hear even the blues, shuffle, all that stuff. You can still hear it in that. But really, I guess where it starts to change is obviously the music you're playing with, but even the way your drums are tuned. The blues stuff is usually like more swampy feeling.
Right.
Whereas this is all really high pitched.
Right.
And everything kind of sits in a very subtly and slightly different spot.
Yeah,
So,
the blues, the drums are a lot more in your face, where the reggae is just more laid back.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got that idea now for 3. Why don't you show us what we've got for 4?
Okay, for number 4, we're basically just taking and making all the hi-hats dotted.
Okay.
Now this could easily also be a blues shuffle, depending on what kind of hump you give it.
So it looks like we're putting that backbeat on the 2 and the 4, and then we're just leaving out that 3, right? That 3 is still a quarter note being played on the hats. Excited to hear this groove, man.
Yeah.
Why don't you break it down for us?
Here you go.
I dig it, man.
Yeah.
I dig it. Very cool. So again, we're almost there. We're almost at the place where we've put everything as a dotted eighth. But this one's cool because it's got the 2 and the 4 as a backbeat.
Right.
Instead of that.
Right. And like once again, that could easily be an early rock groove.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
We were talking yesterday about Earl Palmer. That could easily be an Earl Palmer groove.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny how, because those guys that were doing reggae and ska were listening
Right.
to American rock at the time
Wow.
on their AM radio. They were picking it up because Jamaica's not that far from Miami, so they were getting some of those radio frequencies. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so the influence, it was kind of funny because they all had the same thing, but it just kind of converged differently, you know?
Absolutely. And that's the exciting part about even taking online drum lessons is like you're going to all watch the same lessons as a bunch of other drummers, but they're going to listen to a whole bunch of different stuff. They're going to gravitate towards certain lessons, and we can all be in one centralized area, and then we're going to end up spreading out entirely different, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're both teaching different stuff on this site, but you and I are going to sound totally different because you're going to jump in your car and put on this, and I'm going to jump in my car and put on that. And we're going to naturally gravitate as people because we're all unique. So it's so cool to see it on a small scale, like an individual scale, and then seeing it in a cultural scale, like what you're talking about. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Very
So,
cool.
number 5, we are full-blown dotted.
It's happening.
The whole thing. Here we go.
I hear Bob Marley and the Wailers. It's happening.
Right. Absolutely. And like I said, even though the right hand's doing all that stuff, feel free to try to add accents in with your left hand.
Okay.
Can I show you a little bit something? Okay.
So it's just filling in any of the remaining triplets.
Yeah.
So one into. Very cool. Oh, I love that, man. That feels great. Right away, I'm like dying to practice something to it. And what if you were to, would it be not typical, and I'm actually asking because I don't know, would it be not typical to fill in any of those notes on the snare?
Oh, no, absolutely you could.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would sound like this. Now notice that almost had a halftime shuffle like
We
Bernard
almost touched
Purdy
on
feel.
Bernard Purdy.
Right. So
Almost
you
did.
can easily do any of that stuff because remember, these kind of rhythms, like if we were playing it on like a real reggae tuned kit, the snare is tabletop high.
Yeah.
You don't hear ghost notes.
Right.
So for them, it would be an absolute mental thing. It's all about the feel. You aren't hearing all that stuff. The toms are heavily muffled and the snares cranked and muffled, so there's almost no ring to it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. And the cool thing is that these grooves can be sped up, and all of a sudden you have some really hard-hitting rock grooves.
Right.
You can slow them down even more. All of a sudden they're hard-hitting blues grooves.
I love it. I love it. All right, why don't you demonstrate number 6 for us?
Okay.
And then right after that, if we'll talk about it a little bit and get ready to head in this practice video, man. We're close.
All right.
Come on, right?
Sounds just like a blues shuffle.
It does, yeah.
The reason why we have all these examples is because you interchange. You say, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of that. I'm going to take a little bit of that. So if I take that blues shuffle and then I take out that first accent on 2, this is what it sounds like. And it's a whole nother record.
Reggae, man.
Reggae.
I love it. Awesome. Why don't you play us out? I think we're ready. I'm excited. I'm just eager for myself to head in and practice this. I'm excited for you guys to work on this because these grooves are going to help shape our feel so much. We get drummers all the time asking us about feel, and this is going to really put us in that direction where it's going to help develop feel. But like we've talked about, you and I talk about this all the time, nothing's going to develop feel for a drummer more than actually going, listening to that stuff, or finding local musicians.
You got to go out and play.
Gotta go out and play.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, even with a great feel, you can play with somebody that has horrible feel, and it kind of takes away.
Right.
Or you can have just okay feel and play with somebody that's killing, and it can make you better.
Yes, absolutely.
Or at least sound better to everybody else.
That's right. And record yourself. You got to record yourself and listen
yeah.
to yourself playing these grooves because you might be like, yeah, this feels great. And you listen back, it's like, man, this does not feel authentic at all.
No, yeah. Well, and the groovy thing is now with smartphones, you can just turn on the audio recording, stick it on your 4-tom and play quieter and listen to the feel.
Yeah.
You can record for 5-10 minutes and then just listen back.
Fun tip too, throw it in the corner of a room.
Yeah.
Like the low corner.
The low end.
Catch a nice.
Right.
All right, play us out of this one, man. Let's head to the practice video. If you guys have questions, hit us up. We will see you there.
All right.